Hello, my PUC second year students. Today we are going to discuss the chapter 4.5 and the topic is Guptas. Gupta's period is 300 to 600 CE. After the fall of the Mauryan Empire, there was no strong political authority in North India for nearly a century. The whole of North India was divided into petty principalities. There were some monarchical kingdoms such as the Vakatakas, the Nagas, Maukharis, and Guptas. There were also a few republican states like Lichavis, Yodhyas, Malwas, etc. They were engaged in a mutual struggle until the Guptas emerged as a strong state around 300 CE. Guptas were the powerful monarchs. They ruled a large part of India and achieved a political unity for the second time after the Mauryas. There was tremendous progress in the fields of religion, literature, science, art, and architecture. The Gupta age is known as the Golden Age in the history of India. Some important sources which help us to study the Gupta history are: first one is Allahabad pillar inscription of Samudragupta. Second, works of Kalidasa. Third, Mudra Rakshasa and Devi Chandraguptam of Vishakhadatta. Then the fourth one, Kavya Mimamse of Rajashekhara. Then fifth one, writings of Fahian and Itsing. Next, political history. Sri Gupta was the founder of this dynasty. His son was Ghatotkacha Gupta. Gupta era commenced with the accession of Chandragupta I, who ruled from 320 to 335 CE. He was the first important king of the Gupta dynasty. Pataliputra was the capital of Gupta dynasty. He strengthened his position by marrying Princess Kumara Devi of the Lichavi clan. He was succeeded by his son Samudragupta. Then the greatest ruler of Gupta dynasty, his name Samudragupta. His period is 335 to 375 CE. Samudragupta was the greatest king of the Gupta dynasty who ruled for 40 years. He was an ambitious ruler and wanted to be a Chakravarti or emperor. Then his conquest. Samudragupta is known for his military conquest. He had to wage many wars in order to establish a vast empire. He followed a policy of expansion and aggression. The Allahabad pillar inscription gives us a reliable source to know about Samudragupta's conquest and great qualities. The emperor of this inscription was the composer of this inscription was Harisena. He was court poet and commander in chief of the army of Samudragupta. The conquest of Samudragupta may be divided into four groups. First one is North Indian Campaign. Second, Conquest of Forest Kingdoms. Third, South Indian Campaign. Fourth, Conquest on Border States. First one is South Indian Campaign. The early years of his regime were spent in subduing the provinces of Gangetic plain called Aryavarta. According to Allahabad inscription, he defeated 9 kings in his northern campaign and annexed them into his empire. He called it is Digvijaya. The 9 kings of Aryavarta defeated by Samudragupta were Nandin, Balavarman, Chandravarman, Nagadatta, Nagasena, Ganapati Naga, Achyuta, Mithila, and Rudra Deva. This is the first one, North Indian campaign. Second, conquest of forest kingdoms. Samudragupta conquered the forest kingdoms of Jabbalapura, Rewa, Nagapura, and Bhagalkhanda in the Vindhya region. It means central India. Then third one, South Indian campaign. After firmly consolidating his authority in the north, Samudragupta turned his attention towards the south and he launched an expedition, and his army traveled for about 3,000 miles. Samudragupta defeated the 12 kings of South India, but they were reinstated in their respective positions. These kings became his vassals and they accepted to pay tributes. He called this as Dharma Vijaya. 12 South Indian kings defeated by Samudragupta. Who they are? First one is Mahendra of Kosala. Second, Vagra Raja of Mahakantahara. Third, Mantaraja of Kovarala. Mahendra of Pishtapura. Next, Swami Datta of Kottura. Sixth, Damana of Yerandapalli. Then Vishnu Gopa of Kanchi. Hastivarman of Vengi. Neela Raja of Avamukta. Ugrasena of Palakkad. Then Kubera of Devarsta. Then Dhananjaya of Kushtalapura. Next, fourth, conquest of border states. The boundary states conquered by Samudragupta were Kumargupta in Assam, Samatata in Bengal, Kartipura in Punjab, and Rohilkhanda. After this conquest, Samudragupta performed Ashwamedha sacrifice. This was to commemorate his victory. He took the title Ashwamedha Parakrama. He issued gold coins with the figure of a horse on them. They were one among the 8 types of gold coins issued by him. His empire extended from Kashmir in the north to Tamil Nadu in the south and Punjab in the west to Bengal in the east. Samudragupta was not only a conqueror but also a musician, poet, scholar, and a patron of literature. He had the title Kaviraja. Then Harisena was a great scholar and is a court poet. My dear students, in today's lesson, we are discussed about Gupta, Guptas, and the greatest king of this dynasty, Samudragupta, and his achievements or conquest. In next class, we shall study about the king of Gupta dynasty, Chandragupta, and next about golden age. It means Gupta period is also known as golden age, and etc. We shall study in our next